Miss Mattie Merrywinkle, Chapter 12, The Cat's Whiskers. The good news was that Mattie could instantly see her daughter as clearly as if she was sitting across the table from her. The bad news was that Marigold was obviously speaking, but Mattie couldn't hear a word. Then Marigold started gesticulating wildly and pointing at Mattie's computer. Mattie knew she should be doing something to remedy the situation, but she was unable to respond. She was momentarily spellbound. Marigold was so clearly her daughter, the same sparse frame, the same bright blue eyes, the wavy auburn hair of Mattie's youth. However, the gene fairy had been kind to her, and she had obviously inherited her father's nose. "Festering fish cakes! What's gone wrong? Why can't I hear what she's saying?" Marigold disappeared from view and returned, holding a large sheet of paper that read, "Have you turned your audio off?" "Have I? Oh, crikey! How do I find out?" Mattie ran her fingers over the various pads on her keyboard, but none of them said audio. She could feel panic setting in. She should have chosen the option to feign forgetfulness. Marigold turned the paper over and scribbled another message on the back. This time she had drawn a picture of a megaphone and written, "Look for this icon in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen." As soon as Mattie saw the picture, it all came back to her. Of course, because she couldn't bear that jingly-jangly jingle that exploded into the room whenever she switched the computer on, she'd killed it. And there it was, just where Marigold had said it would be. She clicked on the icon and brought it back to life. "I'm sorry, you must think me a complete nincompoop." "Not at all, it's easily done. I've done it myself before now. Hello, Mattie." At the sound of reassurance in her daughter's voice and the warmth of her smile, Mattie crumpled. She choked back a small sob, then another. "Oh, I'm sorry about this," she spluttered. "I don't know what's come over me. I'll be all right in a minute." "Take your time, Mattie. I'm struggling a bit myself, if I'm honest." Marigold blew her nose on a pretty handkerchief and waited while Mattie got herself together. "It's so strange, you know. All my life I've called someone else Mum, but right now, looking at you, I instinctively know I'm looking at my mother." Goodness only knows what effect this statement would have had on Mattie were it not for the fact that Gerald chose this exact moment to join the conversation. He leapt onto the table and peered at the screen. Consequently, Marigold's screen was suddenly filled with a nightmare vision of a mangled eye socket embedded in mangy orange fur. She screamed. "Oh my God! What on earth is that?" "Oh, I'm sorry," said Mattie for the third time in a very short space of time. "It's just me cat, Gerald. He doesn't like to be left out of things. He's not a pretty sight, I know, but he's a good companion. He's very good at listening." Mattie put out her hand to stroke Gerald, and he turned to face her, preparatory to leaping into her lap. Unfortunately, this meant that his far from clean bottom was now filling Marigold's screen. At least she didn't scream this time. In fact, she started to laugh. Her laugh was infectious, and before long Mattie was doubled up with laughter and thinking what a wonderful idea it had been to do this. "Goodness me, he's a character, isn't he? How old is he?" "I've got no idea. He just appeared on my doorstep one day and refused to go away. I put signs up on lampposts, but nobody came to claim him. He was wearing a collar with his name on, so somebody must have cared for him once. That must have been about 10 years ago. I'd be lost without him now." Right on cue, Gerald purred loudly and turned back to face Marigold. "Do you know, it's the weirdest thing, but I've recently been asked to illustrate a children's book called The Cat's Whiskers, and it's about a cat who thinks he is just that, but in fact he's anything but. The author describes the cat as a black and white moggy, and I've been dragging my feet a little as I haven't felt inspired to draw him that way. Having seen Gerald, I think the book would work far better with the cat looking like him as the hero. I'll talk to her about it. I don't think she'll mind. We've worked together before." Do you think you'd be able to email me a photo of him in case she agrees? Then I can paint him from that. Oh, I wouldn't really know how to do that. No problem. If you could just lift him back onto the table again, I'll take a photo with my phone. Mattie, marvelling at the way of things these days, did as she was asked, and Gerald struck up an aristocratic pose, almost as if he knew exactly what they'd been talking about. Having always believed himself to be a pedigree trapped in an alley cat's body anyway, he put his heart and soul into his screen test, for a moment or two at least looking every inch the cat's whiskers.